Hi, I'm Mike Petro, your host for this edition of Backstage Movie News. If there's one word to describe a Vin Diesel film, it's action! XXX, The Return of Xander Cage, is the third chapter of this blockbuster franchise. It finds extreme athlete turned government operative Xander Cage coming out of self-imposed exile. He's on a collision course with deadly alpha warrior Zhang. Recruiting an all-new group of thrill-seeking cohorts, Xander finds himself enmeshed in a deadly conspiracy that points to collusion at the highest levels of world government. It's a race to recover a sinister and seemingly unstoppable weapon known as Pandora's Box. Today we're talking with the film's producer and its director. Jeff Kirschenbaum first joined Universal as a director of development in 2001 and steadily rose through the ranks. He was a production executive on some of the studio's biggest franchises like Fast and Furious and the Bourne movies. In 2011, he was promoted to co-president of production. Recently, he left Universal to join Joe Roth and partner on the new Roth-Kirschenbaum films, which produced the latest XXX. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for being with us. The first XXX installments were very well received. Why do you think that was so?
The interesting thing about XXX of its time was the heroes who were saving the world were these white males who had this military background and weren't necessarily representative of the global audience of today. And all of a sudden along came Xander Cage, who was anti-establishment, looked nothing like James Bond or Jason Bourne or Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. He really was something wholly new and fresh, and I think it took the world by storm.
Where does this film take place?
The film takes place across the globe. So, we start in Washington, we go to New York, we travel to the Dominican Republic, we go to London, we come back to Detroit, and then we're back to Washington. So it's a truly global feel. Like, you get to go on this journey with our characters.
Are the many locations just for fun, or are there other reasons?
We've seen a growing of the global market. The idea that it's no longer just America that's making the world safe. It's this huge kind of world community.
Vin Diesel is the anchor for the film. Tell us about him on this film.
I've been blessed to be able to work with Vin for the last 15 years in a very close fashion. And I think the thing that separates Vin from anybody else I've worked with is he is voracious in his creative appetite. He doesn't stop trying to make something great. He eats, breathes, sleeps, dreams, exercises it because he does a lot of weightlifting. You can sell that. But it's all about, how do I make this great? How do I make this special? And how do I deliver for the fans? And those aren't just words. That's a mantra that he truly lives by.
Chinese superstar Donnie Yen is a Hong Kong actor, martial artist, film director, producer, action choreographer, and multiple-time World Wushu Tournament champion. Yen has been selected to be a part of the film and also choreograph the fights.
Donnie is such a pro. Donnie has done his fight choreography is truly the best in the world, and frankly, I think it's really the first time you really get to see kind of the Hong Kong style fighting in a big American blockbuster film, and that was really a credit to both Donnie helping out and Vin being right there with him as they got together on this fight choreography and how to do it. So it's really a treat of XXX.
A big part of these films are the other action scenes. Tease us a bit.
It was really important for us to see action that you've never seen before in the movie theater. So we've seen motorcycle chases before, but you've never seen a motorcycle chase over waves in the ocean. And you've seen skiing before, but you've never seen skiing through the rainforest. You've seen cars jump between buildings. Donnie Yen does it by himself. You've seen fights before, but you've never seen one in 0G as a plane is crashing. And so we were able to count on, we wanted to have at least 5 things you've never seen before on the big screen. And frank, not touch wood, we pulled it off.
You've chosen DJ Caruso to direct. Why?
DJ Caruso was such an amazing captain to the ship. He has such an amazing eye and a great story sense. And when you have a director who is managing all of these number ones of the call sheet and coming together, you really have to know your. And he understood the story backwards and forwards, and what every character, what they were doing when they were off screen, what they had been doing a year before off screen, and what they were going to be doing a year from now. So he really got the trust of this cast. And if he hadn't gotten that, we'd have been in big trouble.
Thanks, Jeff. So, speaking of the director, let's zoom in on him. Daniel John, or DJ Caruso Jr., began his career as a production assistant and earned his first credit as an associate producer for the 1991 action comedy The Hard Way. He has been highly successful and directed a number of action films and television episodes. Hi, DJ. Welcome. Can you tell us what drew you to take on such an action-packed saga?
The thing that really struck me was remembering Xander, the character. He was sort of a rebel who became a patriot, right? And I thought, oh wow, what an interesting thing to sort of revisit, okay? You have this sort of rebel who is this really unique individual, but at the same time had this sort of sense of patriotism that he sort of gathered over the course of the first film. For me now, so to revisit something like that in today's day and age, 15 or 14 years later, that was really exciting to me.
What was the basis for your telling the story?
We want to have fun. Xander, I want everyone to grab onto Xander and take this ride and have fun. If we're going to have a little bit of a message and there's something to say, great. Let's kind of put that into the DNA of the story and grab onto it. But we had sessions where Jeff Kirschenbaum, Scott and I, and we'd bring Vin in after we kind of hammered through a bunch of stuff, would literally just lock ourselves in for about 5 hours a day. We did that for like 3 straight weeks until we kind of hammered out the story.
Everyone wants to know more about Vin Diesel and what it's like to work with him.
Vin is Xander Cage, and I think the one thing when I first met with Vin, we talked about this, was I told him the thing I loved about Xander was like, I get to see you smile, I get to see you have fun. And I think for me that would be really important to bring that out. And so along the lines, we just sort of, Vin would be in there in the story meetings. I try to show him some concepts and some drawings and some storyboards and kind of whipping out the stories. And he was really, really intricate. He was really interested. Vin was really interested in really sort of telling about where Xander was, why he was hiding out, how that all sort of, where he's been over all the course of these years. Where I was more interested in saying, like, it's great for you to know that as an actor, but I think to reintroduce Xander to a new audience, we should have just enough in there so that the people that are true fans of the Xander Cage, the franchise, can understand where you've been. But the new audience members can come to this and see this as a completely new thing. So he was really good as a partner in saying, like, this is what people remember, this is what people love, this is what we did in the first movie.
Tell us about reintroducing the Xander Cage character.
When you think you meet Xander on this sort of life-saving mission, when you're being reintroduced to him 15 years later, he's on the top of this tower, and I've always wanted to do a tower jump, sort of free jump in a tower, and then we thought, okay, what if we got this jungle gym skiing? And so he's up on this tower, he snaps in these skis, and he actually comes down, jumps off this tower, which I think is 380 feet high, and skis down through the jungle. So that was sort of the birth of how do we introduce Xander? And then we thought, okay, and then how do we complete that? How do we get him down to that village down in Salinas? And we thought, okay, let's get this longboard sequence, because we had seen some longboarders now, and Vin had sent me some video of some guys going 70 miles an hour on a longboard down the hill in Navarrete, which we actually saw. So that to me was a combination of working with Scott the writer to make this Xander's introduction.
The water bike sequence Jeff mentioned earlier is a fantastic stunt. Tell us more about it.
The water bike sequence is a great sequence and completely inspired by a man named Robbie Madison, who literally, I watched one of the specials of him getting that motorcycle and to get it work on the lake and to get it working in the ocean. I thought, I want to be the first to put this in the movie. I want to be the first to put this in the movie. And so contacted Robbie, talked about the sequences, what was possible. And it's interesting because I thought, with the power we have as movie makers, we'll be able to back up Robbie and we'll get 8 bikes and we'll do this thing. And I will tell you, as you've seen from behind the scenes, bikes were sinking and things were happening. But the great news is, like, all of these sequences, like, it's possible that these things can happen. And that was really important. So that's why we try to do as much practical as we possibly could.
What do you see as the legacy of this film and the XXX franchise?
It really celebrates the individual, and it celebrates if you are true to who you are, and that's the most important thing in your life, whether you're an extreme sports athlete who jumps off towers and gives free cable to all the people in the poor village, or whether you're struggling with whatever gender you might think you are, don't even know what you are. Like, everyone in this film is an individual that is unique and blessed and loved and embraced. And I think in today's society, if you see that in a film, it's kind of where we all need to go. And I think that's what the zeitgeist of this movie was for me. It's like the celebration of the individual. And collectively, which is sort of a contrastive term, collectively, if we bring all these individuals together, we are so powerful. And that's, to me, what this XXX team is.
Thanks, DJ. I'm sure you had a lot of fun working with such a diverse cast, and we wish you continued success. So, if you're looking for a good time, lots of action, fights, wild stunts, and an escape from the real world, Xander Cage's return may be just the ticket and leave a big smile on your face. Apparently, there is already a XXX number 4 looming in the studio lots. Thanks for watching. Please do us a favor and leave a like and pass on the link. Here's the trailer.
Get on your knees! You have 3 seconds to comply. 1, 2,
3. If you wanted me back, you could have just asked me.
A device that controls every military satellite in the world has fallen into the hands of 4 very dangerous guys.
We need someone who can move like them, fight like them. It's time to be a patriot.
There are no more patriots, just rebels and tyrants.
So which are you?
I'm XXX.
I'll introduce you to your ground team.
All right, here comes Red Bull's poster child.
I'm not gonna have clowns watch my back.
Who would you trust?
The good, the extreme, and the completely insane.
Hold on!
What you want, I got what you need.
Now that's a team I can work with.
Here we go. It's refreshing. You actually know what you're doing down there.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Wow.
These guys of yours are the real kind of trouble.
You have no idea what you're up against.
Whatever it is you're looking for, you're gonna come up short.
Does this mean you're not making me breakfast in the morning?
We're willing to die to keep the world safe. How about you?
I live for this.
I guess we're on the same team now.
You ready to have some fun?
What you want, I got what you need.
I go low.
I'll go high.
Let me simplify it for you. Kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you're doing it.